Well, it's beginning to look a lot like 2016 with Republicans set to retake control of the House and Donald Trump running for president. Let's bring in the panel, former New York State Senator David Carlucci and former press communications director for Trump's 2020 campaign, Aaron Perini. Thank you both for coming on. You know, you kind of look at this whole thing. The Republicans finally have control of the House, and you look at the states that are bluest, right? You look at New York and you look at California, and Republicans did pretty well in both those states. In fact, the Democratic Party chair in New York said the following here, quoting, "We lost 4 competitive congressional seats that we very much would have liked to have won. That wouldn't be so unusual except for what happened in the rest of the country, so it looks like we underperformed." Your thoughts on that, David?
Yeah, well, look, I think overall, Democrats did much better than expected. Now with the announcement of Donald Trump running for president again, I mean, this is a gift for Democrats. But you're right, Democrats underperformed in New York, and I think that's really a rebuke on some of the local politics in New York. And I think the lesson here for both parties, Republicans and Democrats, is that you have to be very careful about the extremes of your party just taking you over a cliff. And I think this is where President Biden has done well. He's been able to show results. He's been trying to bridge those differences as far as he can. And I think that shows in the national elections. And most Americans are saying, hey, we want to be in the middle. The extremes are not working. It leads us down a broken road, and we need to be in the middle. And I think that's what people are saying.
Aaron, you agree?
I do agree that the American electorate is certainly looking for a more moderate individual, somebody that's a bit more toward the center, but that's because we are a center-right country. We have been for decades. If you look at New York, you saw a strong message on the economy and crime. When we put forward a message of prosperity, one where Republicans contrasted and not just said Democrats are the problem. They said Democrats put forward policies that created problems, and here are the solutions. That gained seats in New York and in California. We know what a winning playbook looks like. It's up to Republicans whether or not we choose to execute it again.
You know, Aaron, you look at this whole thing, and last night President Trump said that he has some of the solutions that we're looking for, but you listen to a lot of Republicans, including the former Vice President Mike Pence. Let's listen to him on Special Report, and I'll get your take on this.
So, just listening to you, you wouldn't vote for him?
Well, I honestly believe that we're going to have better choices.
And there's a theme kind of GOP-wide that maybe it's time, Aaron, to take a different path. What do you think?
I think that's what the entire primary process is for, is putting forward the candidates, looking at the differences between them, looking at the differences of records of success or failure, and what that looks like, what we want as a party. Our direction is one that wants a strong economy, a strong border, a strong military, strong families, safe communities. That's a winning Republican message. And whoever the Republican electorate chooses coming out of the primary, that's going to be our nominee. And we will have a slate of strong, credible, incredible candidates with records. If you look at a Governor Ron DeSantis, you look at Mike Pompeo, you look at Nikki Haley, you look at Tim Scott, you look at Greg Abbott, I can keep going. We have a record to run on, and that will be the message we can take into 24.
But it's interesting, David, because you have the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, saying, listen, just chill, people. This thing is a long way off. And I think we tend to lose sight of that. This thing is 2 years down the road. And DeSantis, who's being talked about as a primary 2024 candidate, it's like, listen, chill out. This thing it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, hey, I think that's some good advice we should all take. Let's just chill. But former President Donald Trump hasn't gotten that message. And this is really the gift that keeps giving to Democrats. In a time when we are expecting, because history tells us, the president's party loses. They lose their governorships. They lose seats in the House. They did really well. Why? Because Donald Trump has been front and center, and he's shown that extremism of the party. So this is something that the Republicans will have to work out. But it's really a gift to Democrats, especially heading into the off cycle where you have local elections across the country that are so important. And what Donald Trump does is he bolsters turnout for Democrats. So this is good news for Democrats going forward right now.
He's also proven that he can win, though. So that's the other thing, is he has proven that he can win. And, Democrats, as much as they think, oh, yeah, bring it on, they're also thinking, man, I'll tell you what, this could be a very competitive race. I want to move on. President Biden was supposed to talk about the explosion that hit Poland, and he went to this news conference, and they thought he was going to answer questions. He said this instead. Watch.
Mr. President, can you tell us what you know so far about the explosion in Poland, sir?
No.
Aaron, it is highly unusual in that kind of a circumstance for the commander-in-chief to say, nope, no comment, got nothing for you.
Well, there's one of two instances that happened here, right? The White House communications and advance team didn't tell the president he would be giving remarks, and they failed to prep him as the principal. The other instances, they did tell him, it was in his briefing materials, and he forgot or he didn't care to give the answer. Either instance isn't great for the American people, and it's certainly not great geopolitically speaking when yet again Joe Biden goes abroad and fails to step up, step in, and show American leadership on the world stage. We just saw it yet again.
David, I got about 10 seconds for you. You want to wrap us up?
Yeah. I would say that this is leadership. I think so many times we see politicians tell us way more than what they know. Here we have Biden actually having restraint and saying, look, I'm not ready to talk. The stakes are way too high. So I think we've got to give President Biden his due for not speaking when it's not.
I thought he was going to start blaming Putin for the gas price hikes for a second there. David, Aaron, I got to go. Thank you both for coming on. I very much appreciate it.
Thanks, Trace.
Thank you.
Okay.